Karen, and welcome to week 3 of Sunday Sketches. This is the sketch we'll be doing today. I've already completed the masculine version. As you can see, I've stepped it up just a little bit so it doesn't look quite as plain, but that's what sketches are for. They give you the base and they let you do the rest of the work. Now today, I'm hoping that my camera's not going to go in and out with the focus, because I've actually put this down the bottom to give it something to focus on. So we'll pop the sketch and the male version aside, and we'll bring in the female version that I'm going to put together today. There's all these little pieces that I've already pre-cut. I used the Petite Petals punch, which is still available in our catalogue, in our annual catalogue, and also one of the accent stamp punches that they came out with a few years ago. Unfortunately, that's been discontinued, but you can just make it with the Petite Petals. Okay, I've also brought in the Stitched Circles framelit, and I'll be using the 2 3/8 scallop punch, circle scallop punch. Now, as I said, I've cut out a lot of the pieces to save some time, but we've still got a bit of work to do. Okay, so I'll just pop all those just aside for a moment. We've got a side folding card. All the dimensions can be found on my blog. I've already put the insert in only because I've started putting my my moniker on the back of all my cards, and when I actually fed this through the printer, I fed it in the wrong way around, or I had this set up on the wrong side, so I've had to cover and put inserts in a lot of my new cards. So okay, we've got the card base. As I said, all the sizes can be found on my blog, so I'll just set that aside for a minute and bring in the papers that we're going to use. This is from the companion set to the Love and Affection stamp set. This was the paper pack that came out. I think it's called Affectionately Yours, I think, but don't quote me on that. I'll put it down the bottom before during editing. Okay, so we leave the top as it is. The bottom piece, however, we have to slice up. So in with the Stampin trimmer, and I measured my rule when I made the male version. I made these pieces the width of my ruler. My ruler is 1 1/8 of an inch wide. So what I'm going to do is actually make these 1 inch wide, because that way I've got a complete 4 inches, and I know that I'm not going to have to trim any off, because when I made the masculine, I did have to make a trim. So we'll just bring this through like so, and one more, and there we go. We've got the 4 pieces that we need for the card. So I'll move my trimmer out the way, and there we go. It doesn't matter that the patterns don't line up. I will bring in, now you can use your snail for this. My snail's run out of glue, so I'm just going to use my fast fuse. So, and as you all know, I love my fast fuse. So there we go, there's the first one. So just line it up at the bottom there. And there we go, piece number 1 in place. Now we flip this over for the second piece. So, oh, yes, that's right. I'm confusing myself here. Okay, so there's piece number 2. Line it up at the bottom, like so, and then just nudge it up against, whoops, the piece that you've already popped down, and give that a rub to put it in place. Next piece, oops, get that piece off there. Thankfully, with the fast fuse, just giving it a quick rub if you do make a mistake usually gets rid of it, or you can use your glue eraser that Stampin' Up sells. There we go, that's the next piece down, and now one more piece which we will pop the fast fuse on that side, and then line this piece up and line it up against the other one. Now, I actually brought in my bone folder and just give that a bit of a press down so that there's no rough edges showing on the paper, so it looks nice and neat. There we go. Okay, now the top part we can put some fast fuse on, like so. Oops. And we pop that just at the top, lining it all up. Bring in my bone folder again and just give it a smoosh down like so. And that's the base of the card finished. Now we bring in some cardstock, and I want to wrap a little bit of the ribbon around the cardstock. So I'll bring in my Stampin' trimmer again. Now I know this piece is 1 centimetre wide, so I need to make this about 3/4 of an inch wide, so that it's going to be just showing on either. Actually, I might take it up to the 2 centimetres just to make it easier to cut with my Stampin' trimmer. Press that down and just bring that along. There we go. And that will sit across there quite nicely. So we'll measure that to size and just trim it off with a pair of scissors, like so. And then, well, hey, look at me, I didn't flip it over to glue the other side. Well done. Anybody who saw one of the videos I put up before Christmas will know what I'm talking about. There we go. So that's on the back there. We'll just trim that little bit of extra off. And that will go really neatly and nicely across there. So what I will do, 1, 2, line it up at the side there, and then we want that to go evenly across. So there we go. That's that piece down. Now we'll bring in our punch and punch out the scallop circle, and I'll be back in a moment. I'm just going to go and punch some of this out. Here we go. Here's our stitched circle. They look so gorgeous. Okay, we have our stamp ready to go, and we have our stamped circle, our stitched circle. This stamp just says a very quick thank you. So into the middle there, try not to rock the stamp, down and straight back up again, and that's come out gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, so we're going to mount that on there, but we're just going to use a bit of fast fuse to do that one, because we will be mounting on dimensionals for the actual circle itself, the scallop circle. So 1, 2, and because it's got to go over the ribbon, I'm going to put 4 on, and the ribbon should fit quite nicely between the 2 dimensionals. So there we go. If you can see there, when you flip it round, that's actually going to sit quite nicely there. So I'll pop that on there like so. Let's get rid of the backing there, and then we're going to bring in our flowers and just give them a bit of scrunch to bring them up again. Okay, bring in my craft knife. I always like to use my craft knife for putting the glue dots on, because that way they go onto the paper and onto the card. They don't actually stick to me. There we go, that's one. Whoops. Two, and then one more in the middle. Three, like so. Just poof those up a little bit, like that. And what I might do is just add one more over to the side here. Now, I know it's rule of threes, or the rule of odd numbered ephemera, but I figure I've done two odd numbers here. So I've got the three small ones and the one large one. So we're still sticking to the rule of odds. Now I'm going to bring in my basic pearls, and we will add, I'm not sure which ones to add, the pearls or the sparkles. I think I might add the sparkles to this one, just to lift it up just that little bit. So just to add a tiny touch of bling. So I'll do the smaller ones in the small flowers, and then a nice big one in the petite petal. So pop those away, and I think our card is actually done. There we go. The inside's finished, the outside's finished. I hope you like this week's card. I'm not quite sure what happened there. The video finished before I did. Okay, so that's this week's card finished. There's the masculine version, the feminine version, and in the middle there we have the sketch for this week. As you know, the sketch here can be found in the link below, in the description bar below, by clicking on the Pinterest link. It will take you to the folder where all of the sketches that I do over the course of the next however many weeks will be found. I'm not sure how long this one will last. It depends on how many of the sketches actually take my fancy. But for now, we're doing them. So I hope you've enjoyed the sketch and the way that I've interpreted it. If you need anything from Stampin' Up, remember DoLally.stampinup.net. Okay, that's enough for tonight, and I will see you on Friday for another Friday Frenzy. Have a great week. Take care.